everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. And Lori and I just got done playing one of our flea market finds, and it's called Warsaw City of Ruins. Now, Warsaw City of Ruins, I believe, is a reskinning of Capitals, which when it first came out it was called Capitals. And it's a city building game that I was very curious about, and I had researched it and thought we might like it. So when I saw it on the virtual flea market at Dice Tower Con, we went ahead and picked this game up. But this is by North Star Games, Grana Games. So the designer is Flea and this game, I tell you, is easy to play, but it is a hard puzzle to solve and do well. Everything is about adjacency. This is a finished product. We just finished this game, and this is the way the board is laid out. You have 6 epochs or epics or whatever that they call them that you play, and it's represented by these 6 stacks of tiles. For a 2-player game, we took 4 tiles, and then you're just going to start drafting them back and forth. You can purchase the tile, put it in your city district if you want, or you can trash the tile and receive an income. If you don't have any money, of course you're going to end up doing that once in a while. And then you take the tile that you want. If you pay the cost on the tile, which is represented in the upper left-hand corner, and you place it in your district. And the game comes with a scoring aid that you have to refer to constantly, because again, the game is about adjacency, so you want to know where to place those tiles. And for instance, you have you take 1 green, which is a park, and you get victory points for every adjacent red district that you put next to it. So you have to think about that when you're putting down green and red tiles. And then the purple tiles tells you you get victory points for what they're showing on the tile. But the purple tiles come with different color those houses on them. You're not only going to purchase this purple tile for the victory points, which is 1 in this case, but also you want to think about where you want to put those red houses, because they score points to be adjacent to a green, and they score points if they're adjacent to gold. So it's very important that you really have to think about where you want to put these tiles, and you have to use this scoring aid constantly in order to play this game, which I really like, because it's that's the way the game is played. It's all about adjacency. So you take the tiles, you purchase them, you put them in your district, the best that you can, organize them so that they can score you the most points. During the game, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these milestone tiles that are going to be on the board, and I just laid one up there to show you where they go. But once the first epic is over, whoever hits the goal for that milestone tile gets to take that tile and put it in their district. And this would be the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th epic. After you finish those, you get those tiles and you get to put them in your district. But so you're going to have to look ahead. You're planning constantly, not only what you're doing here in your district where you're placing and purchasing tiles, but also what the goals are for these tiles, because you receive a nice benefit for these up here. So you want to kind of look at those, you're planning them. And the last tile was a tile that gave $15 to the person that had the most gold. And it was the last one here. So I was planning for that for a couple of turns. I wanted to make sure that I had the most gold sections in my district, and I did, so I got the $15. So that's pretty cool. And then I covered it up, because I only wanted that $15 one time. And that's one of the things about this game, is you can overbuild, they call it, where you can, if you don't like what you've done with your district, you can cover something up with another tile, and you just have to pay the difference in cost. So that's pretty cool. That's probably I don't know if there's another game where you can overbuild or cover up tiles once you've placed them. That's pretty neat. It makes this game a little bit unique. And they also just always looking ahead is kind of like In the Year of the Dragon, if you've played that by Stefan Feld, where you have the disasters all lined up ahead of you, you can plan for them the whole game. So you see the benefit tiles, these milestones. If you hit these milestones, you get that tile and you can put it in your district, and it's usually a wonderful benefit. So you're planning continually as the game goes on for the end of the epic to see if you're going to hit that milestone and receive that tile. So that's very important. And this is very important in how you laid out your district to score the most points, to put the tiles down in an optimum fashion according to color and adjacency as listed on your scoring tile. You get points at the end of the game, 1 point for every $5 you have left over, but that's probably something that you're just going to let happen. It really doesn't matter. You're not going to be using that as part of your planning. And that's in your district. That's one thing very important too. You build a 3x4 board, and you can see Lori built hers this direction. I built mine top to bottom. So it depends on how the tiles come out when you're drafting them, how you're laying your adjacency, picking that as how your district takes shape. It really doesn't matter. Again, you're just trying to do the most scoring that you can possibly do, so you have to think about where you're putting these tiles. And then you also, I looked at her board a couple of times and I said, well, I don't want her to have this tile, so I'm going to just trash it and get my $3. So that's something that you're going to do during the game too. And it's just wonderful game. I thought I would like it, and I really did. It's probably one of the best city building tile laying games I've played. That's pretty much it. It's a very easy game to play, but the puzzle can be really difficult in how you lay your tiles in this district, because you're thinking constantly again about colors, where you want those colors to be so that they're adjacent to colors that are going to score you points or pay you income in dollars. And then you also want to think about where you're going to put the milestones and how to achieve them, and also where to put city buildings in these tiles. And you can see them laid in piles up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the different epics, and you go through them, and some of these tiles have these tiles in them called city buildings, and they give you a certain benefit. And this one says whenever you discard, you gain $5. So that was pretty nice. I had that in my district for a while and got rid of it as the game went by. But yeah, so you have to think about those city buildings, the milestone buildings that are available at the end of the epics, and how you're going to pay for and place all of these tiles in your district, in your 4x3 district. Okay, another thing you have to think about is when you're going through the epics, at the end of 3 and at the end of 4, you have a war. And Warsaw saw a lot of war, and they razed it to the ground more than once, and it had to be rebuilt. And that's why it actually earned the nickname City of Ruins. So they have a couple of wars here to represent that, and you have to, I think, take tiles out of your district. I think after the first war you remove 1, and after the second war you remove 2 tiles, and that's kind of painful. So I was buying tiles like crazy because I knew Lori had a tile that protected her from the war to a certain extent, but I did not, so I had to remove the 1 tile, and then the second war I had to remove 2, and that was pretty painful. So I just bought tiles that I thought I could just trash them and not miss them out of my district. So that's something to think about also, is the wars. And again, it's in keeping with the theme of the game. And again, at the end of the game you get a point for every $5 left over. And that's it. But yeah, it's a really difficult puzzle, and it goes quick. I think it took us an hour, and but I think with repeated plays you're going to get it done in 45 minutes or so, and that's pretty quick. And I really like that. I like games with small. There's not that many rules to this game, and the font is very big in this book. I can read it. I don't have to squint or get out a magnifying glass. So I love that about the game. The tiles are very thick. Very nice tiles. The pictures of Warsaw, the city itself that's on the tiles, is pretty cool. Has some really neat history. It talks about why you use mermaids why mermaids are so important to the city of Warsaw. There's a little bit of history about that in the rule book. And she's got a shield and a sword because she's protecting the city. And yeah, that's pretty cool. And I like these avatars too. I wish more games would do this. Acrylic. It's got an acrylic bottom, and this is a colored acrylic avatar. I really like that. I think Steamberg is another game that used these, and I really like that. So not many games do that, but I would rather have that than a picture standee, to be quite honest with you. They just seem cooler. But yeah, that's Warsaw City of Ruins. It's a great game. If you guys have the opportunity to play it, and I think you'll enjoy it, and I think you'll pick it up. So that's it for our Bones Collector today, and that's Warsaw City of Ruins. Make sure you like and subscribe. I love every one of you. Have a great day, and make sure you play lots of board games because it's the best hobby on the planet.